But now this is the Rumpy-Pumpys, the final episode. Yes, I'm afraid it's getting a little tired, and so are they. Sorry. Yeah. What? Oh, heckle! Can't deal with them. Yes, I can. Oh dear. Yeah, final episode ever. I thought it was about time we finished the Rumpy-Pumpys, but you'll be pleased to know there are still 3 parts to go because it's a 3-parted episode. It's going to finish on the last show before Christmas, but now, the Rumpy-Pumpys, the final episode, part 1. The Rumpy-Pumpys! Nigel and Jennifer Rumpy-Pumpy are renowned for doing it all the shops in regular restaurant whenever the rude mood grabs a hold. Rumpy-Pumpy. Rumpy-Pumpy. Nigel and Jennifer were bored one day. Oh, so bored you wouldn't believe.
We don't believe it!
Well done. So bored that when Nigel suggested they borrow James and June's golf clubs from next door, which was a little strange because James and June didn't even live next door, Nigel had wondered for quite a while what old Mr. and Mrs. Braithwaite were doing with them, and even though neither of them had ever played before, Jen agreed immediately. They prized the clubs away from the old age pensioners. They had to. Both of them were dead, and they lay stiff in their chairs. They'd been dead for some time.
I wonder what could have brought that on,
said Nigel.
Such a shame as well. He worked hard all his life. 30 years as a print setter at the Daily Mirror. He was just about to retire and cash his pension in.
After calling an ambulance and making sure Jen had a putter in her bag, they looked for the nearest course in the A to Z and hastily got on their way. "Recognise golf shoes only," said a sign as they approached.
Wow, a talking sign,
said Jen.
Well, best not ignore it, nevertheless, added Nigel. Do you recognise these?
Yes, darling, they're June's and James's and we're borrowing them.
No problem there, then. They both agreed. They went into the shop where Nigel inquired about the fees whilst Jen tried to figure out why the gloves all had one missing. It's a golf joke.
Exactly.
I know. I thought golf was supposed to be Britain's most popular sport. That's why I put that joke in. When you go in a golf shop, forget it. Golf gloves, they only wear one, so Jem's trying to figure out...
Oh, right.
The assistant explained to Nigel, in the meantime, while that joke wasn't working, that it was £7.50 a round. Nigel paid.
Have you ever played before, sir?
He then went on to inquire. "Well, actually, we haven't," replied Nigel.
Well, in that case, you might need some more balls.
He suggested. "Young man, I can assure you we've done things that require a lot more guts than this. It's only a game of golf, for goodness sake."
Sir, I think you've got the wrong end of the stick,"
continued the assistant.
"I have not," replied Nigel, looking down at the driver he had in his hand. "I'm holding it by the grip, just like it says in the books. Besides, you should know better than to call them sticks. They're clubs, you know."
That was funny as well, wasn't it? As Nigel calmed down, the young assistant turned his attention to Jen.
"Would you like to hire a trolley, madam?"
he asked.
No, thank you.
Said Jen.
I've already found one that's the right height for me without the need for any adjusting. Now, how much are they?
They're £2 an hour.
Hang on a minute, let the jokes work! Would you like to hire a trolley? No, I've already found one that's the right height for me. Audience
without
laugh.
the need for any adjusting.
Jen pauses, then continues. "I think it'd be cheaper for us to buy 2. A little laugh again because it's still dying down. Then you come in."
"OK," said the young man. "OK."
Oh, we didn't... Oh, right, OK.
OK, go on, you do it, go on.
"OK,"
Said the young man, making an unexpected sale.
"that'd be £92.80.
"Well done, son," whispered his boss 6 years later when he went on to win the British Open. Eventually, Nigel and Jen started to play. They were both pretty appalling, but were having a splendid time strutting around the fairways purposely whilst feeling the fresh air filling their lungs.
"Old Mr. and Mrs. Braithwaite could have done with a bit of this," said Nigel.
What, golf?
Replied Jen.
"No, air in the lungs,"
replied Nigel. However, there was something strange afoot that neither of them could help noticing. Since they'd teed off, they hadn't seen another soul. Until that was they reached the 11th green. Nigel was just weighing up a short putt.
"How far do you reckon that is from the hole, darling?"
he asked Jen.
"About 12 inches, would you say?"
Looks more like 6 to me.
She replied with a smile on her face. And then, excuse me, shouted a man, popping his head up from behind a bunker. "But don't you know it's recognised golf shoes only on this course?" We've done that joke, said Nigel.
Yes,
Agreed Jen.
and it didn't get a laugh the first time.
No, said the man, by this time almost exasperated. Recognise golf shoes only. Recognise golf shoes only. Nothing else, just the shoes. No plus twos, plus fours, plus anything. No nothing, just the shoes. So you don't ruin the greens. But how come? Said our two sweethearts, completely confused. Don't you know? Said the man. No, said Nigel and Jen. You're on Britain's first and only naturist golf course. Da, 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 da. Part 2 next week, Andy. So we'll leave you with bated breath on a coat hanger of an ending.